Yo, what's up, everybody? It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in lovely Phoenix land. Yesterday was super hot, but delicious. Shivered when I got out of the pool in the afternoon. Thumbs up, thumbs way up. Pool, great investment. Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks. The wife and I, ball and train, we went on the vacation. Lindsay and I, we went back home and saw my family and her family and all of the friends. Glad to see everybody. It was a really good time. So yeah, borders. Borders are weird. So, and this is not just to say about like national borders, state borders, stuff like that. Borders, anything that is a defining characteristic of a thing is a border, right? That's what the definition of border is. So I'm also talking about your borders, the borders that you have made of yourself, that are separating people from each other and stuff like that. So think about that as well as other borders. It's really easy to use country borders because country borders are like this well-defined thing, and for the most part, you should have some kind of like written word on like what your country's about. Now, whether or not we'll get into whether or not you're following that, but see, that's kind of the thing. We think that these borders make us different. And remember, we're not different. No one's different. You would be, if you were in my body and I was in your body, you'd be me and I'd be you, and we would think the ways that we would think then and stuff like that. Like you're a combination of everything. But if you're in that, if you're in that situation, you're in that situation, right? Remember rule or guideline number one. There isn't a real border when it comes to people. So like, why do we think there's borders on land? And we have these like magic borders that we think is like, just because something's different somewhere, something over there, they're going to be different from us. And like, true, some people have some slightly different like socio stuff, like how they perceive the world, how they want to interact with the world. But like, when you think about it, no, we're all kind of really the same. We all kind of want the same thing, all that fun stuff. So like, we have these. We think that by, that person over there, they're different from us. We're going to keep them over there. And we recognize that it's kind of silly when you like break it down. Like, is that person really any different from you? No. And, well, they are different. They're coming from a different place. Well, yeah, but again, remember, if you were coming from that place, you would be them. So it's this like weird thing that we do with borders. And we think that, the difference is different, but it's not. We can, but outside of that, the magic of those borders. Once we have borders, we start start placing these like laws and rules. So you have rules for yourself. You might not think you do, but you do. And like that's what makes you feel like that's what makes you different from other people and stuff like that, and it's your personality and all that other stuff. But for like the purpose of the thought experiment, we're gonna use America, and because it has these borders that we think are magic. We think that by being born here, or some people do, that makes different, special than any other human in the entire world. You're just lucky, moral luck. Yeah, that's true. But it doesn't make you any different. It just makes you lucky. So we have these like laws that once you have the border, you start making rules and laws, and you can do this and you can't do that. And you can go here, you can say this, but you can't say that. You can do this, but you can't do that. And sometimes things change over time. That's true, which is good. Like, where I think the major problem comes from is we do have laws that are unjust. They exist. And I think a majority of the laws that are unjust are because that they no longer follow the mandate of our quote ideals. What now? People will say, what are the ideals of America and something like that? Well, I'm just going to go from like the original documents that helped founded, our country, and the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. That's kind of the actual founding. The Declaration is more of like our birth pain cry, labor pains, whatever. But the Constitution as well, and that kind of stuff. And it kind of gives rights to everybody. Like at first there weren't, some people didn't have as many rights for like voting and whatnot, but we like recognized even in the beginning, in the birth pain era, that everyone like right to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That was like our number one right there. And you're like, okay, cool. But we don't actually do that now, do we? We said it and we kind of like founded ourselves upon these ideas, but then we don't do that. So we like lock certain people up for no reason. Like, well, they had a plant on them. Ooh. Or they were in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Or like in certain cases in the past, and I'm sure it still happens, like actual laws saying, hey, no, don't sell this land to a person of color. Like that's super not with what the founding of the country said. And it's just one of those things that's why America is so schizophrenic. Like we don't always actually do. And admittedly, we are kind of getting better now. There has been some steps back here and there, and it's not like a linear progression. There has been back and forth. But I mean, still more people have rights now than they did 20 years ago, 50 years ago. 50 years ago is definitely a word, or 70 years ago. And that's a good thing. We should continue. We should definitely continue giving more people rights. To that extent, why don't we start like behaving the way we want to behave? Like our founding fathers didn't want us to be interventionists, and we're super interventionist right now. Like, oh man, so interventionist. Why don't we stop doing that? Why don't we let more people into our borders? Not saying we don't secure our borders. Our founding fathers would have also definitely probably wanted us to know who's coming and going. But like that doesn't mean we can't say like, come in, you're weak and tired and all that other stuff. Why don't we start letting people? What if we be the country that we claim to be, then I think you're going to get less schizophrenia, and you're going to get less ups and downs, and you're probably, when you act the way you say you act, everyone else is just going to like, they're going to trust you more, they're going to believe you more, and we probably will have less like people across the planet going, oh, Americans, like. I don't want them to think that. I want them to think like, hey, they're smart people where they started. I want them to think they started a revolution in some like rational thought. Hey, Church of the Conscious, ha ha ha. That's what we're doing here. But anyway, yeah, like, why don't we act the way we say we want to act? Like, let's freely trade with everybody. Like. Across the board. Now, that's not to say we don't like also have standards for things and like, hey, that's what the government's supposed to be there for. It's supposed to protect us. So like, well, why don't they? We should have like some let it cross the border. But hey, if something's poisonous or going to give you cancer or something like that, that should be the government checking it out for you, making sure that we are A-okay. I don't know. It just seems like if we would get more towards what we're supposed to act like and supposed to be like, and less how we've been, and which is more like looking out for number one. I bet we would be way better off. So remember, so America could be like us, and we could be more like the people we say we want to be like. So remember, we're talking, it was, yes, I got to complain about and bring politics up. You knew it was going to happen. But remember, you can be the person that you want to be. And when you're the person that you want to be, when your borders are not necessarily fixed, remember, bringing those new ideas, but you know what's going on and you're being thoughtful and rational and kind, I would imagine most people are going to want to be around you and you're going to get a little bit more done in your life than otherwise. Segment cool things in science that I heard this week. OSAP. I had to catch up on my backup blog of Skeptic's Guide, because obviously when I'm with Lindsay for the last 2 weeks, like, yeah, the whole listening to podcasts doesn't happen. So shout out to the Skeptic's Guide bringing it up in there, and it was the science of fiction. Got it right. I'm with you, Evan. Stay strong, brother. But CRISPR, and they like actually destroyed. Apparently, it was in mice, but it was with mice that were able to express the HIV human. So remember, these are humanized mice, and they killed the entire HIV. All of it in the mouse using CRISPR technology to go hunt and kill it. Unlike our current technology, you need to like have it active before it'll find it, and then it'll kill it. But this was like they went in and found it when it was dormant. So like, hopefully, thumbs up, we get more CRISPR technology. Just letting the people know it's don't feel. Let's remember to be rational and be smart, but CRISPR technology. It's so cool. Anyway, that's what I got this week. I hope you all are having a great week, day, month, year, whenever you get this, however long you're listening in between when this is and when you're hearing it. Remember that I love you all, and I want the best for everyone. We can all do the best. We all do our best, try our best. Then, I mean, what could go wrong, right? I say that, and then something terrible can go wrong. Can always go wrong. Let's try to not have it go wrong. Let's do our best. Okay. Remember, love you. Be good.